where the tentacles of white supremacy reach into every corner of life. There was a time when even white skin wasn't enough to be considered white. Ask the Irish. Ask the Italians. Ask the Jews. Becoming white was a process, an invention, a performance. There is nothing natural, scientific, or stable about being white. When the Irish began arriving in the 1840s, they were poor, Catholic, and unwanted. To Anglo-Americans, they were alien, dangerous. Newspapers and cartoons portrayed them as ape-like, violent, and ignorant. Barely different, they said, from the enslaved blacks of the South. No Irish need apply, signs hung in shop windows. But the Irish adapted. They joined police forces, fire brigades, and labor unions, the very institutions that enforced the racial order. Once inside, they locked the doors behind them, shutting out the blacks who once shared their struggle. By the 20th century, famine refugees had become city officials, judges, and college presidents. They had become white, but only by rejecting the very people who reflected their past. The Italian story echoed the same melody. White America reminded Italians daily, "You're not quite one of us." They were called Guineas, Dagos, and Wops. Guinea, from the African coast, meant they were closer to black than to white. Dago and Wop meant thug, outsider, unwanted. In 1891, 11 Italians were lynched in New Orleans, proof that their whiteness was still on probation. But they learned the rules. They joined unions, police forces, and city machines. They moved into white neighborhoods and distanced themselves from black ones. Their dialects faded. Their names were anglicized. Their culture bleached for acceptance. To be white, they had to act like they were better than black, and treat blacks like they themselves were once treated. Jewish immigrants arrived between 1880 and 1920, fleeing persecution and poverty. To Protestant America, they were foreign, suspicious, not quite white. Slurs like kike, sheeny, and hebe marked them as outsiders, the same way nigger and guinea did for others. Ironically, early Jewish immigrants lived side by side with black families, renting to them, selling to them, knowing them. No group in America was closer to black life, but success came with distance. They accelerated their assimilation into American culture and mores, entered professions, moved to the suburbs. Their children became doctors, lawyers, professors, and white. By mid-century, Jews, like the Irish and Italians, were absorbed into whiteness. The price: cultural amnesia and complicity in systems that continued to exclude black Americans. To become white in America is to conform to white supremacy. To forget you were once a victim of racism yourself. To distance yourself from blackness, and in return, you get a ticket to the white barbecue. History remembers how the Irish became white, how Italians became white, how Jews became white, and soon others will follow. Latinos may be next, but what does it say about a people who survive exclusion and humiliation, only to pick up the same whip once used against them? My question to them is simple: was it worth it? To learn more, read Dixieland, Tales, Stories and Anecdotes of Unfiltered Black American History, available now on Amazon.